Brody Jenner says he's received a real apology from Caitlyn Jenner. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I hope you are well. If you liked the video, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Brody Jenner says Caitlyn Jenner has apologized for not being there when Brody was growing up. Just recently, I got a real sincere apology, Brody, 41, said of Caitlyn, 75, in the Wednesday, January 15 episode of Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. It was the first time in my life that I've ever gotten an apology. You know, I'm sorry for not being there, and honestly, it meant a lot. It is no secret that Brody and Caitlyn share a complicated history. Long before becoming a star of the Hills or a contestant on Special Forces, Brody spent his formative years with a famous father who wasn't always around. Caitlyn, formerly Bruce, transitioned in 2015, and since then their relationship is better, Brody said on the Fox reality show. When he was young, however, I'd randomly see him at the time, you know, here and there, he remembered. But Mom would tell me that I would write on cards, "Why doesn't Dad call me on my birthday?" Brody Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner's complicated relationship over the years. Caitlyn, who is a former Olympic decathlete and motivational speaker, has 6 children with 3 different wives, Burt Jenner and Cassandra Marino with Christy Scott, Brandon Jenner and Brody with Linda Thompson, and Kendall Jenner and Kylie Jenner with Kris Jenner. I had an incredible mother, Brody said in Special Forces. Father, Bruce, at the time, wasn't around that much. They split, and then he met a woman. She had kids as well. The woman that he met, they had kids together. Caitlyn appeared on Keeping Up with the Kardashians 2007 to 2021, with ex-wife Kris and their daughters Kylie and Kendall, in addition to Kim, Kourtney, Khloe, and Rob Kardashian, Kris' children from her previous marriage to the late Robert Kardashian. Brody admitted that the Kardashians show had made him feel a little bit abandoned, but with hindsight, he now understands that Caitlyn was going through her own struggles, transitioning, and it was all that was put on TV. And there were these moments that we would have that was all filmed, and it just felt very invasive and not very genuine, I would say. Brody and Brandon Jenner's ups and downs with the Kardashian-Jenner family. When Brody found out that Caitlyn or Bruce wanted to be Caitlyn, it was sort of a relief, he shared. I think that there were a lot of things that started to make sense, just in my life, about my father, and maybe why he wasn't there all those years. Brody has gained new perspective since welcoming daughter Honey with Tia Blanco in 2023. I think not having Bruce around growing up and her doing that transition, it was tough just being her son, he said in Special Forces. I just had a beautiful little daughter. I'm not living for myself anymore. I'm living for her. I think it's gonna make me a better father. He added, I'm gonna do the exact opposite of, as far as being there for her, as my father did for me. Khloe Kardashian isn't afraid to be vulnerable to her fans, from her traumatic relationships to struggling to bond with her son Tatum. Recently, she confronted her mom, Kris Jenner, about her bossy approach to them when they were starting Keeping Up with the Kardashians. During the 9th episode of the new Khloe in Wonderland podcast, Khloe expressed her frustrations about Kris being her manager. Here's how the mother and daughter are still working on their relationship after nearly 2 decades of working together. Khloe Kardashian had a hard time being managed by Kris Jenner. Khloe recalled protesting against Kris management when they started filming QWK. We were like, "What are you talking about? You're not going to boss us around. We don't even want to do this," she told her mom, who insisted on their participation in the show. Khloe later realized that she needed to set apart Kris the manager and Kris the mom. But it was hard during the first few years of their reality TV career. Their relationship improved once Khloe had her kids, but Kris admitted it took a lot of work, especially when it came to turning off her manager mode. Khloe has 2 kids with her ex-boyfriend, Tristan Thompson, True, born 2018, and Tatum, born 2022. Kris notably gets a 10% commission from each of her daughter's projects. To be fair, it's a standard rate. She just happens to have several successful children. Kim Kardashian alone is worth $1.7 billion. In 2021, Khloe defended her mom's cut, saying, "She really just knew that we can do all these things and my mom is giving us our careers, or helping us navigate through that, and it's only fair that she gets paid for that." While it has always bothered fans, Kris doesn't feel guilty about taking that 10% commission. "I work really hard," she argued, "and I think that I'm valuable to the deals that we do and the businesses that we create." In November 2023, Kris started pushing Khloe to start a podcast. At that time, the Good American founder was having a tough time with her work-life balance. In season 4 of The Kardashians, Khloe expressed her frustrations about Kris' insistence on the project while not being available to help her. "I can't take on other responsibilities like starting something completely new because I don't have a team to lean on," Khloe said at that time. She claimed that Kris was only there until the contract is signed, and you disappear until you want to bring me the next contract. The spat raised concerns among fans. It was heartbreaking to hear Khloe tell her own mom that she never feels like there are people looking out for me. "I have to do it all on my own in every single category and job I have." Fast forward to January 2025. Khloe ended up launching a podcast. She likely reached an amicable arrangement with her mom. During Kris' appearance on Khloe in Wonderland, the host noted that her mom seems to have an easier time dealing with Kim Kardashian. But Kim is starting to regret being like Kris as her firstborn, Northwest, begins to explore high-profile projects as well. "North, me having to be her momager right now is crazy. It was not on my list. It was not on my bingo card for this year," the Skims founder said on The Kardashians. Kris and Khloe admitted that they're still working on their connection these days. "My kids are gonna be my soulmates for the rest of my life," the momager said on the podcast. "Kris is now focused on finding her own love language with each one of my kids, because they are all different and alike at the same time." The matriarch also reflected on how their family has grown and how she gets to film with her 13 grandkids now. "I could have never imagined it to even include another generation, which is so amazing," she said, adding that they started a show because she needed to pay the bills. But ahead of the season 6 premiere of The Kardashians, there has been criticism about the waning influence of the family and why it might be time for them to stop filming the show. They reportedly signed a $100 million 2-season deal with Hulu after moving their show to the platform after 15 years.